What is packing with you, YouTube? Welcome back to Cage TV. Great win by the Lakers today, beating the Celtics. LeBron James came through in the end and hit a clutch shot to seal the deal. But on to better news. Shout out to all the Pack addicts. Shout out to Pac-Man Jake. Let's get into this shit. Now, I should have dropped this video like a week ago, but I didn't. A lot of things going on. But I want to say a week ago or a week and a half ago, Packers GM Gutekunst was in a press conference being questioned about the upcoming free agency, and everything else surrounding the changes to the league. And they asked him about how the Packers will go into free agency. Gutekunst put out there that, it's going to be a lot of restrictions this free agency. Now, do remember, we went pretty big last free agency period. We spent a lot of money. Prior to the end of this year coming in, Aaron Rodgers took a little bit of stress off the Packers by taking his $14 million this year early. So Aaron is only going to make $21 million this upcoming season. And then the seasons after that, it'll be somewhere in the $39, $37 million range. So far, I believe the Packers have about $45 to $47 million in cap space. And Gutekunst, said that there would be some limitations and restrictions this year. Now, most people think that indicates that we won't get anybody. No, we'll pick up some players. It's just not the players, not the big time names. You know what I mean? We might not pick up anybody until probably the fourth day, end of the third day, start of the fourth day, midday of the fourth day of the free agent period. Plus, we have to re-sign some of our own guys. And, those of you who have been paying attention to Packer news, we re-signed Mason Crosby for 3 more years at $12.8 million. And the good thing about this deal is he's going to save us money this first year. He's only going to take $1 million, and then the money shoots through the roof in the next coming years. But we might talk to him about restructuring, but I don't think we'll probably do that to a kicker because the salary cap will be way up by then as they finalize the CBA agreement. Now, let's just talk about that right quick. Now, the players voted against the CBA agreement, but that does not mean that this agreement will not get passed. Now it has to go to the 32 board men of representatives to vote on this. And I think the NFL will get it passed once they start, doing backdoor deals for some of these representatives of the teams. You know what I mean? They're going to do some backdoor deals. Some things will be, hey, look, scratch my back, I scratch your back type of shit. So I think the CBA agreement will be done. But as far as the Packers concerns, we still have players that we have to re-sign. We have to bring back, I'm hearing Brian Bulaga and Kyler Fackrell, Tramon Williams, who's been putting out some strange Instagram posts. He's been saying some weird things. So we might want to, keep an eye on Tramon Williams, man. I don't like what I'm seeing in some of his Instagram posts, but we'll see what happens. And one of the biggest names on the free agency list is bringing back Blake Martinez. Now, I'm pretty sure the Packers have Blake Martinez by the balls right now, because the way he cried after losing the NFC Championship game against the 49ers, you could kind of tell that he loved playing for this team. And it seems to be like that with all Green Bay Packer players except Martellus Bennett. But one thing I didn't like that Brian Gutekunst said, and not to say it's a bad thing that he said, well, when it comes to free agency, I kind of got a little bit of Ted Thompson in me. Now, you could take that two different ways. Now, let's not talk bad about Ted Thompson. He's put together some successful seasons for the Green Bay Packers while he was running things. I think things got I think the Packers started getting, not innovating themselves or evolving themselves the way that the league was going at the time, and we relied on Aaron Rodgers too much. So with Brian Gutekunst stepping in and him saying that, some people might take that the wrong way by saying, "Oh, Ted Thompson, here we go with this draft and development bullshit." Well, when you got $47 million, you better have a good draft. You got to have a good draft. It's important now. And I think what he meant by that was keeping guys longer than we should keep them. And Ted Thompson had a huge problem with that. Or not keeping the guys we should have kept, like Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde should still be on this team. He should still be on the Green Bay Packers. If that was one of the most, that upset me a lot. When we let Micah Hyde walk out of the building, that upset me a lot. He is a game-changing defensive back. You can always count on Micah Hyde to show up in the playoffs. Just need a moment of silence for that, man. That all these old emotions is coming up from not bringing him back. Excuse me, but let's continue. So, I think that's where he was coming from on one side of his statement that he made. Now, the other part, you could say that this is a good thing. And I mean that by keeping a strong unit together. Because if it was one thing that Ted Thompson always had, was a strong group of guys that played for each other, that had each other's backs, and that played with heart. Now, some Packer fans believe that we're not going to get anybody in free agency. We will. We will pick up some players in free agency to replace some that will replace some players to fill certain gaps. Like, if we let Tramon Williams go, we'll probably go pick up an ancillary player, free agency that can start. You know what I mean? If the Packers are not going to draft a starting guy in the first round to take over that position. If you understand what I'm saying. Let's just say, this is just hypothetical. Let's just say Darrelle Revis. Nah, let's not use Darrelle Revis. I want to use a cornerback that's out there on the market right now. I can't think of one, but just say it's a third down guy from that's got maybe 4, 5, 6 years under his belt in the league. The Packers will probably pick him up, a player like that up. just to, or if it's a okay guy that can start at the position that they could just, okay, we could plug him in because he's playing around a bunch of group of guys that they could move around. So we'll get some ancillary dudes. We'll get a BJ Goodson type dude like to play in that position, for example. But we're going to pick up some guys. They're going to be, plug and play dudes. But we'll get some guys in free agency. We'll probably try to go after some receivers in free agency because I'm hearing about, this draft is just loaded with receivers. It's just loaded. And I'm pretty sure that's what, one of the positions where I think Brian Gutekunst is probably going to take a receiver in the first round. So him saying that could mean many things. And I know most Packer fans is probably looking at the negative side of him saying, I probably got a little bit of Ted Thompson in me. Hopefully he got the good sides of Ted Thompson in him when he's, getting ready to walk into this free agency period that's coming up. So I'm not expecting us to make no big splash, no big splash type of pickup the first day, because the first day those are the big money guys. Those are guys that's going to get paid some bread. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really going to really be expecting anything from the Packers in the free agency period until probably the third or the fourth day. Probably the third or fourth day, and then, small little pickups here and there. Some special team guys. Probably get some special team guys because, special teams got to get better than what it was this year. I mean, our kickoff and punt return was just terrible. So I know that's probably going to be where we'll be digging in the free agency, is picking up some special team dudes. We need speed, guys with speed. So it's going to be interesting to see the decisions that Brian Gutekunst makes to reload up this team for next season. It's going to be interesting to see the players he let go, he let hit the door. So I wish, this is just me, I wish we would let Blake Martinez go, look around the free agency and try to find a linebacker that's at least better than him, with more attributes, still be a tackling machine but have more attributes added to him, and then maybe second round draft a middle linebacker. Because I'm thinking that we're going to go wide receiver first pick. But I'm kind of curious to figure out how much input Matt LaFleur is going to have in the decision-making process of going after guys that, Matt LaFleur may have some relationships with, that may have called Matt LaFleur, hey man, I want to come play for you, man. I seen what y'all did last year, man. I'm trying to come win a ring. Dudes be talking, man. People be talking. People talk. Remember, like I said, the NFL is connected all around with the relationships. So it'd be interesting to see how many guys will want to come play for Matt LaFleur, like what they seen. Some guys might like the opportunities that, they probably watch the Packer game like, dang, man, Matt LaFleur giving his guys opportunities. I know I'm better than that motherfucker right there who just dropped the ball. He got Aaron Rodgers throwing to him, and they can't catch that. Like, I'm just saying, those are the things that happen in this league. So, I wonder how much input Matt LaFleur is going to have on helping Brian Gutekunst design this team for next year, and what process will they take as far as entering in the draft. So we have a lot of news about this team that is going to come out, and I think they're gonna do. I think that they can do a good job. I think Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur and, you know what I'm saying, all the other coaches that's involved, you know, I think they're going to be a collective group. I don't think it's going to be how it was last time, because Mike McCarthy really never had no say. I think the only time they let Mike McCarthy pick a player, I think, was when he picked Eddie Lacy. They let him pick Eddie Lacy. Hey, all right, man, who you want? Give me Eddie Lacy. I mean, that pick paid off for Eddie Lacy. You know, he was Rookie of the Year and did have a 1,200-yard rushing season. But it didn't pan out how we thought it would. So, I think this time around, with all parties involved with this team, as far as the suits upstairs, I think this team can and will do a good job in the free agency. They know their limitations. You know, that's the first thing Brian Gutekunst came out and said was, we're going to have some restrictions this year. Like, so don't expect us to go out there and get these players that we are all crossing our fingers and crossing our hearts and hoping to get. But there is some good ancillary players out there, some good plug-and-play guys that can make things happen. We just have to narrow down the selection to the right picks. So, with that being said, man, shout out to all the pack addicts. I'm looking forward to this. You know, some people say football season is over. No, it's not. Football season is never over. It's never over. It's never over. Y'all heard what Jamal Williams said in the playoff game against the Seattle Seahawks? Last time this year, I was training. I was training, getting ready for the season to come back better than ever. So football season is never over. And I'm out.